On the other hand, Sid was pleased because he could deceive the people at the goddess trial. Sid believes they are only focused on the shadow fight and don't care about Sid Kagano's figure. When Sid wanted to leave there, suddenly the gate of the sacred land appeared in front of him. Sid was confused by this gate because he didn't know the situation. Then Sid tries to leave, but the gate of the sacred land keeps following him. Sid thinks he couldn't return to the inn because this gate always followed him. Because of that, Sid will enter the gate to solve the problem that occurred. At the goddess trial event, everyone was surprised because this sacred land gate had appeared for the first time in this event. Nelson was surprised that the sacred land answered Shadow's power. Then Alexia and Rose don't understand what Nelson means because it's their first time seeing the gate of this sacred land. Alexia had heard stories that the sacred land gate was inside the church. Then Nelson explained that the gate of the sacred land has 3 types: the uninvited gate, the call or meeting gate, and the welcoming gate. The church doesn't know what kind of gate appears at this goddess event because the sacred land gate automatically appears and responds to the power possessed by Shadow. But Nelson will soon be closing this gate and forced to stop today's event. Then Alpha and the Shadow Garden members appeared there. Shadow Garden didn't allow Nelson to close the Sacred Lands gate. Epsilon had also done against the other church members, and Nelson had no one else to protect him. Then Alpha says that Alexia and Rose shouldn't act rashly and must watch what will happen. After saying that, Alpha and Delta stepped into the Sacred Lands gate. Rose asked about Shadow Garden's intentions and goals tonight, but Epsilon didn't answer her question. She said that Alexia and Rose must only pay attention to this incident until the gate closes. Epsilon will also force Nelson to enter the gate of the sacred land. The other Shadow Garden members pretend to threaten to kill Beta so that Alexia and Rose don't do anything. But suddenly, Nelson summons Venom warriors to kill Epsilon. But Venom's slash only cut into Epsilon Slime's boobs. Then Epsilon was angry because her pride as a woman with the most perfect body than Beta was simply destroyed by Venom. She quickly reattached her perfect boobs with the slime's magic power and killed Venom. Afterward, Epsilon immediately led Nelson into the Sacred Land Gate. Likewise, the Shadow Garden members pretended to kidnap Beta and bring her to the gate of the Sacred Land. Seeing this, Rose also stepped there. Likewise, as a Crimson Order member, Alexia immediately entered the gate of the Sacred Land. She wanted to know what was happening and Shadow Garden's true purpose. Afterward, Alexia reasons that she tripped and fell with Rose earlier, so she accidentally entered the gate of this sacred land. Then Alpha didn't care about that, and she allowed Alexia and Rose to join in knowing this hidden historical truth of the past. This information may be useful to Alexia and Rose, as they have no idea what is happening and who the Diabolos cult is. Alpha and the members of the Shadow Garden had been investigating the Diabolos cult for a long time, and today was the day they witnessed all the reality of the past stories that the people said were just a fairy tale. This sacred land is the remnants of Hero Olivier's memories from when she defeated the Diabolos demon. For the Diabolos cult, they called the sacred land Sanctuary. The tale also says that the demon Diabolos' left arm was sealed here, as Alexia and Rose had known for a long time. The Hero Olivier statue in the city of Lineburn is fake because it is a man. The original Olivier hero was a girl, and Alpha also showed her true face in front of Nelson, Alexia, and Rose. Alpha's face is very similar to the hero Olivier because she is a descendant of Olivier and was used as experimental material for the Diabolos cult when she was a child. This could prove that the truth about the past can be revealed. Then Alexia and Rose are shocked after knowing that fact. Meanwhile, Nelson doesn't believe that Alpha is alive and manages to escape the Diabolos cult's experiments. According to Nelson, Alpha's blood is unsuitable for the revival of the demon lord Diabolos. I added this flashback scene from part 2 or episode 2 when Alpha was in the form of rotting meat and Sid Kagano saved Alpha. Alpha said that the Shadow Garden's current existence must make it difficult for the Diabolos cult to continue their experiments. Then Alpha activated magic in this sanctuary to reveal the truth about past history through hero Olivier's memories. There used to be a big war that resulted in many soldiers being victims of payment. Alexia, Rose, the members of Shadow Garden, and the audience of this anime will find out the truth behind the tale of the past.
おとぎ話の世界に旅立ちましょう。オリビー！ここは古の記憶と魔人の怨念が眠る墓場。行き場をなくした記憶が封じ込められた。
At the same time, Sid meets Aurora again, and they can talk to each other. Sid asks, "Were you the one who called and told me to come here?" Then Aurora replied that she didn't really mean it like that, and Aurora really enjoyed the previous battle. Sid was also happy because he could fight someone as strong as Aurora. Aurora admits that Sid is the strongest person and even hopes that Sid was born when Aurora is still alive. Then Aurora asked why Sid could be in this sanctuary. Sid explains that a gate has suddenly appeared in front of him and always follows him everywhere. Then Sid wants to know how to get out of sanctuary. But Aurora doesn't know how to get out of there either. Aurora in front of Sid was just a memory left from the sanctuary. Because of that, Sid will leave there to find his own way. But Aurora grumbles because Sid has no heart. He should untie Aurora, who is being held captive like this. Then Sid immediately untied Aurora and apologized because he thought Aurora was doing physical training like Sid did.
斬新ね。さて、私たちの目的は一致しているわ。ざっと1000年ぶりの自由ね。
Then Aurora invites Sid to find a way out of this sanctuary together. Sid can return to his world, and Aurora can escape the sanctuary's memory seal. Aurora gives Sid a hint: if they can destroy the sanctuary's magic core, they can be free from here, and sanctuary will also be destroyed. Aurora wouldn't mind if this sanctuary were destroyed. After all, her form here was a memory from a past battle. But this place seals anyone's magic power. When someone uses magic, sanctuary will absorb the magical power. Then Sid didn't mind that. He could destroy anything if he wanted to. After hearing that, Aurora is happy because Sid is a man who can be relied on. In my opinion, Aurora is also a little interested in Sid because she has always teased him.
そういえば解放されたらどうするの？
消えてなくなるわ。
Then they arrived at a laboratory where the Diabolos cult was experimenting and found a small child crying alone. It turned out that she was Aurora when she was a child.
泣いても何も変わらないわ。
On the other hand, Alpha and the others were also in Olivier's memories while in the experimental laboratory. In the past, the Diabolos cult gathered orphan children to serve as experimental materials and guinea pigs. Many children died during the experiment because the Diabolos cult gave them demon cells. But some of the girls were still alive. Their blood cells were compatible with it. So some of these girls have powers on par with demons. One of them is Olivier. The tales of the past were deliberately warped into another story because the Diabolos cult had a goal. After Olivier attained great strength, the Diabolos cult deliberately gave Olivier a task to defeat and sever the Demon King Diabolos' left arm. Olivier carried out the task because the Diabolos cult was toying with her with the word peace. Olivier believes that when she defeats the Demon Lord Diabolos, the world will become peaceful and comfortable for humans to live in. Then Olivier's memories of the past battle began to open. After the Olivier managed to cut Demon Lord Diabolos' left arm, it could still attack the researchers from the Diabolos cult. Then several other researchers quickly used an ancient artifact and sealed the Demon Lord Diabolos' left arm. The truth of the Diabolos cult's goal is to get even more powerful demon cells from that left arm. After they researched the left arm of the demon lord Diabolos, they concocted medicine to significantly increase their strength and be on par with the demons. This medicine was the same as what Orba and Xanon used, but the medicine had too strong a side effect, and the Diabolos cult didn't want that. Then another of Oliveir's memories came flooding back. In the end, the Diabolos cult created medicine with pure power from the blood cells of the Diabolos demon lord's left arm. The name of the medicine is the Drip of Diabolos. This drip has extraordinary power and can create eternal life for those who consume them. One of the people who took medicine was Nelson. It turns out that Nelson was also in on the experiment, and he is part of the Diabolos cult. But they still couldn't perfect the medicine. They needed blood cells from the hero's descendant or someone else's blood cells that match Diabolos blood cells. Therefore, the Diabolos cult's experiments still continuing now. I added this flashback scene when Claire was kidnapped by Orba and Alexia was kidnapped by Xanon. Diabolos drip will lose its effect if they don't drink it for a long time. This medicine can only be produced 12 times per year. This has something to do with the Diabolos cult, as they have another structured level higher than the children of Diabolos. It's the Knight of Rounds. Nelson was one of them, and he occupied the 11th seat position out of a total of 12 members. Each member consumes Diabolos drip annually. Alexia and Rose finally find a detailed explanation about the Diabolos cult and the truth about that tale. Whereas Nelson laughed because he didn't expect that Shadow Garden could investigate the Diabolos cult in detail. Nelson immediately uses his demonic powers, but unfortunately, Delta kills Nelson first. Delta couldn't wait to fight every enemy she saw and didn't want more stories like this. But Alpha gave Delta a sinister look and was angry at her for being too reckless. Then Delta apologized and begged Alpha not to confiscate Delta's snack ration for today. Shortly after, Nelson revived and activated the defense of the sanctuary. This resulted in Epsilon and several other members being separated from Alpha, Alexia, Beta, Delta, and Rose. Then Nelson said that he would make Shadow Garden regret having entered the Diabolos cult's territory. Then the battle begins.